North and South Korea are profoundly different economically and developmentally. Before getting into the differences that North and South Korea possess, their histories must be explained. In 1945, towards the end of World War II, the Japanese colony in Korea began to fall apart. After the surrender of Japan, Korea was split into northern and southern parts along a geographical marker called the 38th parallel. These divisions of Korea both turned into spheres of influence for two major world powers. The North became a sphere of influence for the Soviet Union, while the South became a sphere of influence for the United States. The Soviet Union laid the groundwork for a more communist-controlled society in North Korea. In South Korea, the United States set up a capitalist-style economic system. Once independent, North Korea created their economic and political institutions with major backing from the Soviet Union. A dictatorship was put in place, a tight form of a centrally planned economy was set up, which was called the Juche system. All ownership of private property was banned for the mass of the population, and all general economic freedoms were taken from the people except for a small elite ruling class. In South Korea, after independence, Western influences with support from the United States formed their economic and political institutions. A market economy was established where private property was recognized by the government. In 1961, the leader of South Korea, General Park Chung-hee, put major governmental force behind quick economic growth and gave credit to companies that proved themselves to be successful. Economic institutions and policies encouraged investments and trade, which additionally led to the transfer of technology. North Korean policies led to economic failures through famine and industrial production stagnation, while South Korean policies led to great developmental successes in a booming economy. North Korea was struggling while South Korea was striving and prospering. By the end of the 20th century, a significant economic and developmental gap had appeared between North Korea and South Korea.
North Korea has been identified as having an extractive economic institution. The government takes the income and money from one group to benefit another group within the same society. The group benefiting is the ruling elite class. They are the center of attention, while freedom and individuality is taken from everyone else. Extractive institutions gets its name because it is designed to extract wealth from one part of the society. North Korea has an absolutist political institution that focuses its power on a small group of people that also benefit from the laws they create. There is no centralized state that helps regulate laws, trade, and the safety of the people. Many constraints result in having an extractive economic institution combined with an absolutist political institution. Only the elite are allowed to own and start private businesses. How a citizen chooses to spend their money is monitored, and there is a lack of public services provided by the government. The laws enforced in North Korea are biased, so there is no level playing field in the legal system. North Korea is facing all these problems today, which has resulted in many issues, including famine due to the decline in agricultural production and lack of support in industrialization. There is also no motive to invest in land or property because there is no guarantee that it will be secure. In extractive governed places, there is no incentive for most of the population to invest or put any effort to be economically productive because its only aid will be towards the wealthy high class. South Korea, on the other hand, has an inclusive economic institution that encourages the population to participate in economic activity. Many of the beliefs inclusive institutions advocate are westernized and for North Korea inspired by the U.S. The government in North Korea creates opportunities for the people and lets them create their own businesses that highlight their talents. Unlike North Korea, South Korea secures private property not just for the elite but for everyone. This is a part of encouraging people to engage in the economy because people have a drive to invest in property. South Korea has a pluralistic political institution and power is spread out among the people of different groups in the society. Both inclusive and pluralistic institutions heavily rely on a centralized state or government that controls law enforcement and ensures equality and safety. It also provides public services that benefit everyone in the society, not just a select few. An inclusive institution allows room for creativity within each individual citizen to pursue the life they aspire.
Due to North Korea's extractive economic institution and absolutist political institution, the country has fallen far behind South Korea. Because North Korea's dictatorship has chosen to rule the country this way, the country has suffered greatly. Citizens are not able to create more job opportunities and have limited options, which are all strictly controlled by the government. This does not allow the country to get out of the hole it's in. For starters, if North Korea imposed a more inclusive economic institution and a pluralistic political institution, following South Korea, which currently holds one of the world's leading economies, they would not be in such a bad place. This would allow their economy to finally take off and take the steps it needs to take in the right direction to match its neighbor, South Korea. This would also mean North Korea opening itself up to the rest of the world economically and dramatically shifting the power dynamic from mostly Kim Jong-un to a more democratic-style government. With Kim Jong-un's involvement in the government gone, then the exploitation of people for the benefit of the ruling class would not be able to coexist with this. Then, with North Korea not being held back economically with exposure to many other countries, and then the ability to create job opportunities to help the economy, economically, they would be able to match South Korea. Politically, the formal ruling class imposes would be gone, and the country would not be vulnerable to exploitation by its rulers, and the country as a whole would be able to take more steps in the right direction to be able to match South Korea. South Korea needs to keep doing what it's doing and maintain its 12th largest economy in the world, and maybe if North Korea takes the steps already said, they will match their neighbor in economic and political success.